Rocky clearance. Good evening, TC Air 7903 ready for pushback at Bravo 2. Cleared for pushback TC Air 7903. Rocky ground, TC Air 7903 ready to taxi. Taxi to 09er TC Air 7903. Rocky Tower, TC Air 7903 ready for takeoff on 09er. Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 7903.
Rocky clearance. Good evening, Blue Sky 2679 ready for pushback at Bravo 1.
Rocky Tower. Good evening, TCA 1844 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TCA 1844.
Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 2679er. Rocky ground, Blue Sky 2679 ready to taxi. Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 2679.
Rocky ground, TCA 1844 taxi to the gates. Taxi to gate Bravo 2 TCA 1844.
Rocky Tower, Blue Sky 2679 ready for takeoff on 09er. Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 2679.
Rocky clearance. Good evening, Blue Sky 9845 ready for pushback at Alpha 3.
Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 5090.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 9845 ready to taxi. Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 9845.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 5090 taxi to the gates.
Rocky clearance. Good evening, Blue Sky 1091 ready for pushback at Bravo 6. Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 1091.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 9845.
Taxi to gate Bravo 1 Blue Sky 5090.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 1091. Rocky Tower, Blue Sky 1091 ready for takeoff on 09er. Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 1091.
Rocky clearance, good evening, TCA 5787 ready for pushback at Alpha 1.
Cleared to land on 09 Blue Sky 3786.
Cleared for pushback TCA 5787. Rocky ground, TCA 5787 ready to taxi. Taxi to 09 TCA 5787.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 3786 taxi to the gates. Taxi to gate Alpha 3 Blue Sky 3786.
Rocky clearance, good evening. Blue Sky 3203 ready for pushback at Alpha 5.
Rocky Tower, good evening, TC Air 8202 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 8202.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TCA 5787.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 3203 ready to taxi. Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 3203.
Rocky ground, TC Air 8202 taxi to the gates. Rocky ground, TC Air 8202 requesting taxi to the gates. Taxi to gate Alpha 1 TC Air 8202.
Clear to land on 09er Blue Sky 4178. Rocky ground, TC Air 8179 ready to taxi.
Rocky Tower, Blue Sky 3203 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 8179.
Line up to wait on 09er Blue Sky 3203.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 8179 ready for takeoff on 09er. Rocky ground, Blue Sky 4178 taxi to the gates.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 3203.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 8179. Taxi to gate Alpha 5 Blue Sky 4178.
Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 6544.
Cleared for pushback TC Air 4545.
Cleared for pushback TC Air 1845.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 4545.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 1845.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 4545 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 6544 taxi to the gates.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 4545.
Taxi to gate Bravo 2 Blue Sky 6544.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 1845.
Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 7390.
Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 6391. Rocky ground, Blue Sky 6391 ready to taxi. Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 6391.
Rocky ground, TC Air 7390 taxi to the gates. Taxi to gate Bravo 7 TC Air 7390.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 6391.
Rocky clearance, good evening, Blue Sky 5091 ready for pushback at Bravo 1.
Cleared for pushback TC Air 7487.
Rocky Tower, good evening, TC Air 2486 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 2486. Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 5091.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 7487.
Rocky Tower, Blue Sky 5091 ready for takeoff on 09er. Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 5091.
Rocky ground, TC Air 2486 taxi to the gates. Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 2903.
Rocky Tower good evening, TC Air 9902 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 9902.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 7487.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 2903. Taxi to gate Bravo 5 TC Air 2486.
Rocky ground, TC Air 9902 taxi to the gates.
Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 3787.
Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 9679er.
Rocky ground, TC Air 9902 requesting taxi to the gates.
Rocky Tower good evening, TC Air 1678 is on final for 09er.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 2903.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 3787.
Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 1678.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 9679er.
Taxi to gate Bravo 3 TC Air 9902.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 9679er.
Rocky ground, TC Air 1678 taxi to the gates. Taxi to gate Bravo 6 TC Air 1678.
Rocky Tower good evening, TC Air 5844 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 5844.
Rocky Tower, Blue Sky 3787 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Rocky clearance good evening, TC Air 8203 ready for pushback at Alpha 1. Cleared for pushback TC Air 8203.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 3787.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 8203. Rocky ground, TC Air 5844 taxi to the gates.
Rocky Tower good evening. Blue Sky 3090 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 3090.
Taxi to gate Alpha 1 TC Air 5844.
Rocky clearance good evening, Blue Sky 4179er ready for pushback at Alpha 5. Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 4179er. Rocky ground, Blue Sky 4179er ready to taxi.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 3090 taxi to the gates.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 4179er.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 8203 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Rocky clearance good evening, Blue Sky 6545 ready for pushback at Bravo 2.
Rocky Tower good evening, Blue Sky 8786 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 8786.
Taxi to gate Alpha 3 Blue Sky 3090.
Rocky clearance good evening, TC Air 73901 ready for pushback at Bravo 7.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 8786 taxi to the gates. Taxi to gate Alpha 5 Blue Sky 8786.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 8203. Rocky Tower, good evening. Blue Sky 4202 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 4202.
Rocky ground. TC Air 739er 1 ready to taxi.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 6545.
Line up and wait on 09er Blue Sky 4179er.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 739er 1. Rocky Tower. TC Air 739er 1 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 4179er.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 739er 1.
Rocky ground. Blue Sky 4202 taxi to the gates.
Rocky Tower, good evening. TC Air 6178 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 6178. Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 6545.
Taxi to gate Bravo 1 Blue Sky 4202.
Rocky ground. TC Air 6178 taxi to the gates.
Rocky clearance, good evening. TC Air 9903 ready for pushback at Bravo 3. Cleared for pushback TC Air 9903.
Rocky Tower, good evening. Blue Sky 7544 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 7544.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 2487.
Taxi to gate Bravo 4 TC Air 6178.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 9903.
Rocky Tower. TC Air 2487 ready for takeoff on 09er. Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 2487.
Rocky ground. Blue Sky 7544 taxi to the gates.
Cleared for pushback TC Air 1679er.
Rocky Tower, good evening. Blue Sky 2390 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 2390.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 9903.
Taxi to gate Bravo 7 Blue Sky 7544.
Rocky Tower. TC Air 1679er ready for takeoff on 09er. Line up and wait on 09er TC Air 1679er. Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 1679er.
Rocky ground. Blue Sky 2390 taxi to the gates.
Rocky clearance, good evening. TC Air 5845 ready for pushback at Alpha 1.
Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 9486.
Cleared for pushback TC Air 5845.
Taxi to gate Alpha 4 Blue Sky 2390.
Rocky ground. TC Air 5845 ready to taxi. Taxi to 09er TC Air 5845.
Rocky ground. Blue Sky 9486 taxi to the gates. Taxi to gate Alpha 1 Blue Sky 9486.
Rocky Tower, good evening. TC Air 1902 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 1902. Rocky Tower. TC Air 5845 ready for takeoff on 09er. Line up and wait on 09er TC Air 5845.
Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 3091.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 5845. Rocky ground. TC Air 1902 taxi to the gates. Taxi to gate Bravo 6 TC Air 1902.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 309er 1. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 5678.
Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 8787. Rocky ground. Blue Sky 8787 ready to taxi. Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 8787.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 5678 taxi to the gates. Taxi to gate Alpha 2 Blue Sky 5678. Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 309er 1.
Rocky Tower, good evening. TCR 3844 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TCR 3844.
Rocky Tower, Blue Sky 8787 ready for takeoff on 09er. Line up and wait on 09er Blue Sky 8787.
Rocky ground, TCR 3844 taxi to the gates.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 8787.
Rocky clearance, good evening. Blue Sky 4203 ready for pushback at Bravo 1.
Cleared to land on 09er TCR 8090.
Taxi to gate Alpha 5 TCR 3844.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 4203 ready to taxi.
Rocky clearance, good evening. TCR 6179 ready for pushback at Bravo 4.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 4203.
Cleared for pushback TCR 6179. Rocky ground, TCR 8090 taxi to the gates. Taxi to 09er TCR 6179.
Rocky Tower, Blue Sky 4203 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Cleared to land on 09er TCR 4786.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 4203.
Taxi to gate Bravo 5 TCR 8090.
Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 7545.
Line up and wait on 09er TCR 6179.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 7545.
Rocky ground, TCR 4786 taxi to the gates.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TCR 6179.
Rocky Tower, Blue Sky 7545 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 6202.
Taxi to gate Alpha 3 TCR 4786.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 7545.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 6202 taxi to the gates. Taxi to gate Bravo 3 Blue Sky 6202.
Rocky Tower, good evening. TCR 7178 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TCR 7178.
Rocky clearance, good evening. Blue Sky 2391 ready for pushback at Alpha 4. Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 2391. Rocky ground, Blue Sky 2391 ready to taxi. Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 2391.
Taxi to gate Bravo 7 TCR 7178.
Rocky Tower, good evening. TCR 2544 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TCR 2544.
Rocky clearance, good evening. TCR 1903 ready for pushback at Bravo 6. Cleared for pushback TC Air 1903.
Line up and wait on 09er Blue Sky 239er 1.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 1903.
Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 9er 487.
Rocky ground, TC Air 2544 taxi to the gates.
Rocky Tower, good evening, TC Air 939er is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 939er.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 239er 1.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 9er 487.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 1903 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Taxi to gate Bravo 4 TC Air 2544.
Clear for pushback Blue Sky 5679er.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 1903. Rocky ground, TC Air 9390 taxi to the gates.
Rocky Tower, good evening, Blue Sky 1486 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 1486.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 5679er.
Taxi to gate Alpha 1 TC Air 9390.
Line up and wait on 09er Blue Sky 9er 487. Rocky ground, Blue Sky 1486 taxi to the gates. Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 9er 487.
Rocky Tower, good evening. Blue Sky 5902 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 5902. Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 5679er.
Taxi to gate Alpha 4 Blue Sky 1486.
Rocky clearance, good evening, TC Air 8091 ready for pushback at Bravo 5. Cleared for pushback TC Air 8091.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 5902 taxi to the gates.
Rocky Tower, good evening, Blue Sky 3678 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 3678.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 8091.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 3845.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 5902 requesting taxi to the gates.
Line up and wait on 09er TC Air 8091.
Taxi to gate Bravo 5 Blue Sky 5902.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 8091.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 3678 taxi to the gates.
Rocky Tower, good night, Blue Sky 8844 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 8844.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 3845 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Taxi to gate Alpha 5 Blue Sky 3678.
Line up and wait on 09er TC Air 3845. Cleared for pushback TC Air 4787. Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 3845.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 8844 taxi to the gates.
Rocky Tower, good night, TC Air 4090 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 4090.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 4787.
Taxi to gate Alpha 2 Blue Sky 8844.
Rocky ground, TC Air 4090 taxi to the gates.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 4787.
Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 6786.
Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 6203.
Taxi to gate Bravo 2 TC Air 4090.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 6203.
Rocky clearance good night, TC Air 7179er ready for pushback at Bravo 7.
Rocky ground, blue sky 6786 taxi to the gates.
Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 7202.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 7179er.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er blue sky 6203.
Taxi to gate Alpha 3 blue sky 6786.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 7179er ready for takeoff on 09er. Line up and wait on 09er TC Air 7179er. Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 7179er.
Rocky ground, TC Air 7202 taxi to the gates.
Rocky Tower good night, blue sky 2178 is on final for 09er. Clear to land on 09er blue sky 2178.
Taxi to gate Bravo 1 TC Air 7202.
Rocky clearance good night, TC Air 2545 ready for pushback at Bravo 4.
Rocky Tower good night, blue sky 90544 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er blue sky 90544.
Taxi to gate Bravo 7 blue sky 2178. Rocky clearance good night, TC Air 90391 ready for pushback at Alpha 1.
Rocky clearance good night, blue sky 1487 ready for pushback at Alpha 4.
Rocky ground, blue sky 90544 taxi to the gates.
Rocky Tower good night, TC Air 1390 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 1390.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 2545.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 90391.
Taxi to 09er blue sky 1487.
Rocky ground, blue sky 90544 requesting taxi to the gates. Taxi to gate Alpha 1 blue sky 90544.
Rocky Tower good night, TC Air 5486 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 5486.
Rocky clearance good night. Blue sky 5903 ready for pushback at Bravo 5.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 2545 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Taxi to gate Bravo 4 TC Air 1390.
Taxi to 09er blue sky 5903.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 2545.
Rocky Tower good night, blue sky 3902 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er blue sky 3902. Rocky Tower, blue sky 1487 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Taxi to gate Bravo 6 TC Air 5486.
Line up and wait on 09er blue sky 1487.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 90391 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Rocky ground, blue sky 3902 taxi to the gates.
Rocky Tower good night, blue sky 8678 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er blue sky 8678.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er blue sky 1487.
Cleared for pushback blue sky 8845.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 90391.
Rocky Tower, blue sky 5903 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Taxi to 09er blue sky 3679er. Rocky Tower good night, TC Air 4844 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 4844.
Taxi to gate Bravo 5 blue sky 3902.
Cleared for pushback TC Air 4091.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 8845.
Taxi to gate Alpha 2 Blue Sky 8678.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 5903.
Rocky Tower good night, TCA 6090 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TCA 6090.
Taxi to 09er TCA 4091.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 3679er.
Line up and wait on 09er Blue Sky 8845.
Taxi to gate Alpha 5 TCA 4844.
Rocky Tower, TCA 4091 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Rocky Tower good night, Blue Sky 7786 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 7786. Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 8845.
Taxi to gate Alpha 4 TCA 6090.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TCA 4091.
Rocky clearance good night, Blue Sky 6787 ready for pushback at Alpha 3. Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 6787.
Rocky Tower good night, TC Air 2202 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 2202.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 7786 requesting taxi to the gates.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 7203.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 6787. Taxi to gate Alpha 3 Blue Sky 7786.
Rocky Tower good night. TC Air 9178 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 9178.
Rocky ground, TC Air 2202 taxi to the gates.
Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 2179er.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 7203 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 2179er.
Taxi to gate Bravo 2 TC Air 2202.
Rocky Tower good night, TC Air 1544 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 1544.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 7203.
Rocky Tower, Blue Sky 6787 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Taxi to gate Bravo 7 TC Air 9178.
Cleared for pushback Blue Sky 90545. Rocky ground, Blue Sky 90545 ready to taxi.
Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 5390.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 6787.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 90545.
Rocky ground, TC Air 1544 requesting taxi to the gates. Line up and wait on 09er Blue Sky 2179er. Taxi to gate Bravo 3 TC Air 1544.
Rocky Tower good night, TC Air 3486 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 3486.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 2179er.
Rocky ground, Blue Sky 5390 taxi to the gates.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 1391.
Rocky Tower, Blue Sky 90545 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Rocky Tower good night, Blue Sky 8902 is on final for 09er.
Taxi to gate Alpha 1 Blue Sky 5390.
Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 8902.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 90545.
Rocky clearance good night, Blue Sky 3903 ready for pushback at Bravo 5.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 5487.
Rocky Tower good night, TC Air 4678 is on final for 09er.
Taxi to gate Bravo 1 TC Air 3486.
Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 4678.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 13901 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 3903.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 8679er.
Rocky Tower good night. Blue Sky 6844 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 6844.
Taxi to gate Alpha 2 Blue Sky 8902.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 13901.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 5487 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Cleared for pushback TC Air 4845.
Rocky Tower good night. TC Air 7090 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 7090. Taxi to gate Bravo 6 TC Air 4678.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 4845.
Taxi to gate Alpha 5 Blue Sky 6844.
Line up and wait on 09er TC Air 5487.
Rocky Tower good night. TC Air 2786 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 2786.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 5487.
Rocky Tower, Blue Sky 3903 ready for takeoff on 09er. Rocky Ground, TC Air 7090 taxi to the gates. Rocky Tower good night. Blue Sky 9202 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 9202.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 7787.
Cleared for pushback TC Air 6091.
Taxi to gate Bravo 5 TC Air 7090. Taxi to gate Bravo 4 TC Air 2786.
Rocky Tower good night. Blue Sky 1178 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 1178.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 6091.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 3903.
Line up and wait on 09er Blue Sky 8679er.
Taxi to gate Alpha 3 Blue Sky 9202.
Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 5544.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 4845 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Clear for pushback TC Air 9179er.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 8679er. Rocky Ground, Blue Sky 1178 requesting taxi to the gates. Taxi to 09er TC Air 2203.
Rocky Tower good night. TC Air 3390 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 3390.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 9179er.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 4845.
Taxi to gate Bravo 7 Blue Sky 1178.
Rocky Tower good night. Blue Sky 8486 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 8486.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er Blue Sky 7787.
Taxi to gate Bravo 2 TC Air 5544.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 6091 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 5391.
Rocky Ground. TC Air 3390 requesting taxi to the gates.
Rocky Tower good night. TC Air 4902 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 4902.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 1545.
Rocky Ground, Blue Sky 8486 taxi to the gates.
Taxi to gate Alpha 1 TC Air 3390.
Rocky Tower good night. TC Air 6678 is on final for 09er. Cleared to land on 09er TC Air 6678. Taxi to gate Alpha 4 Blue Sky 8486.
Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 6091.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 9179 ready for takeoff on 09er.
Rocky Tower good night, Blue Sky 7844 is on final for 09er. Taxi to gate Bravo 3 TC Air 4902. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 7844. Taxi to 09er Blue Sky 8903.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 3487.
Clear for takeoff on 09er TC Air 9179er.
Rocky Tower good night, Blue Sky 2090 is on final for 09er. Cleared for takeoff on 09er TC Air 2203. Cleared to land on 09er Blue Sky 2090.
Continue taxi TC Air 6678. Cleared for pushback TC Air 4679er.
Line up and wait on 09er TC Air 1545.
Taxi to gate Alpha 2 Blue Sky 7844.
Rocky Tower, TC Air 1545 cancel takeoff.
Taxi to 09er TC Air 4679er.
Rocky Tower, Blue Sky 5391 ready for takeoff on 09er. Rocky Ground, Blue Sky 2090 taxi to the gates.
Rocky Ground, TC Air 1545 taxi to the gates.
Taxi to gate Bravo 6 Blue Sky 2090.